All right, we are live. Welcome, Win Daily Sports NBA preview show. Adam, how you doing, bro?
I mean, I'm in better shape than some of these NBA teams. That's for sure. Right now, I think
Yeah,
I
it's
might get a
just
phone
been
call in the middle of this to see if I can try out.
it's been an absolute disaster. So at this point, especially with Toronto not being able to travel, and they have 8 players or 9 players in protocols for tomorrow's game there. So hopefully, I get the call for Toronto, but we'll see. We'll see what's
I
going
mean,
on there. But
Mavericks are out here signing Charlie Brown, man. I think all bets are off.
yeah, I mean, if they could sign cartoon characters, I'm pretty sure we could get a shot at this point. So
Just
gotta
throw me
gotta
on the
do
bench for a
something.
couple games. I'll take the paycheck.
Got to do something. So, yeah, that's gonna be not so fun for my Toronto Raptors tomorrow. But before we get to that one, we got a nice little 5 gamer here. Beginning with the Pacers traveling to Miami, who will be once again without Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Oladipo still out as usual. Markieff Morris, Caleb Martin, the list goes on and on. Anybody that you playing from this one?
Well, I thought you brought up a really good point in the article today, and we've seen it for the past 7 to 10 days. Like the field just flocks so heavily to these shorthanded teams, and it makes all the sense in the world, right? It's guaranteed minutes, no matter game environment or whatever, because they literally just don't have anybody else to throw on the floor. So with a team like the Pacers, basically being full health, or at least how they have been for the year, they haven't had T.J. Warren. McConnell's been out for a little bit, but like this is pretty much their team, and it has been from the start of the year. Like people aren't going to play Sabonis, they're not going to play Brogdon, they're not going to play Turner, and it's not that it's a mistake, but man, in GPP, like that starts getting really interesting when these guys are going to be sub 10% all over the board.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that was one of the main things I wrote today was that people forget that there are still other plays on a
Right? There's
slate
still good plays.
that are not involving 6-man rotations, right? Like just a 6-man rotation, obviously it's ones that we'll point out and we've been pointing them out every single day, but getting DeJounte Murray yesterday at 10% rostership was
Right.
absolutely laughable. That
Right.
was that was just for laughs comedy. Like it just made no sense. Right? Just because the Spurs are somewhat healthy. And what Doug McDermott coming back takes you off DeJounte Murray. Like I just don't get it. So
And like
um
even Embiid was under 20%. And like
yeah,
they still
that
have
too.
some injuries, and Boston's front court was decimated. They had
Yeah.
Ennis Freedom guarding that man. Like, of course, Embiid had a big game.
Well, that's exactly it, right. And then that's what makes me so intrigued by a 10.6 Sabonis, honestly, like this, because people are gonna see 10.6. Number one, they're gonna say, whoa, 10.6 for Sabonis. And then Indiana's healthy. So you put those two things together. He's likely gonna be 5% roster on a slate like this, where he's going up against Dwayne Dedman, guys. Like
Right.
I don't know what else to say. Like he's him and Turner, one of them is bound to go bonkers in this spot. So if you have a pay up option, like people are gonna likely go to LeBron and they're gonna go to other guys. And I get that. We'll talk about all these guys. There's only 5 games to cover, but just keep that in mind. On the Miami side, anyone that you're playing, Kyle Lowry's really priced up now on both sites, and rightfully so. It only took them like 6 weeks to do that. So I'm not really too comfortable going back, especially against Malone Brown's defense. But he's been dishing out a ton of dimes, so the floor is relatively safe. But are you playing any Miami Heat tonight?
I mean, you could probably play Lowry and Cash. I don't know if you have to just based on rostership. It doesn't look like he's super popular. But at 8,700 against Brogdon defense, like you mentioned, I think the ceiling's probably gone for him. You're probably looking at like 5x on the best case scenario. Um, I mean, guys like Heroes now probable. That probably just kind of leaves me out because you talk about guys like Gabe Vincent and Struess, and yeah, they're still like appealing plays, but they have started to get priced up a little bit too because Miami's been short for a week now. So when you're talking 5,800 Gabe Vincent with Tyler Hero back, probably that's not like super appealing for any lineup really.
Yeah, and that kind of takes away the appeal of having multiple ball handlers on the court, right? Like that's what Spo always wants is that he wants multiple ball handlers to be able to change the look of his offense on any given possession, and that's what Gabe Vincent does. But now that Tyler Hero's back, that kind of goes out the window, right? Like that's Tyler Hero's main role on this team, and to provide a spark on offense, and that's all he does is play offense. So you're going to see a lot of Hero on the court tonight. alongside Kyle Lowry. Hero upgraded to probable in this one, so he should be good to go. So I'm on Gabe Vincent. I don't mind Struss or Duncan, but again, it's just know that they're really streaky shooters, right? So
Yeah, you know what you're
they
getting
could either
into.
drop they could drop 35 or 15. There's nothing in between.
No, and I
So
mean, look
yeah,
at Robinson's past, few game logs, and like game logs aren't everything, but with guys like him, it perfectly illustrates what you get into because he's got 33, he's got 39, and then he's got 16, 17, and 18.
yeah,
And
that's
guess
that.
which games
If
he
the
scored
shot is
points?
dropping, if the shot's dropping, you're gonna say, "Oh man, I should have taken a shot on Duncan Robinson." And then if you play him and the shot's not dropping, you're gonna say,
You're in
"Well, I
trouble.
shouldn't have
You're
played a
dead.
streaky shooter." Like
Right.
I'm telling you guys this right now, well in advance before lock, and it's going to be like this every single day when you play streaky shooters. The Joe Harrises of the league, the Duncan Robinsons of the league, the fringe streaky shooters like Strauss and other guys like that. That's the pro and con of playing a streaky shooter is that they often come at low rostership and they're great for tournaments because of the fact that they could get hot, but he doesn't rebound the ball, he doesn't get assists, he literally contributes
Not
in no
doing
other way to
anything.
this team, right? So
Right.
that's the one thing. If you want to take a shot on Robinson or Struss, I'm okay with it, but just realize what you're getting yourself into there before you go and run to click their names.
Exactly.
Pistons traveling to take on the New York Knicks, who they're still without a ton of guys, but Derrick Rose being questionable in this one kind of makes it interesting. Kemba getting over 38 minutes last game, coming from completely out of the rotation to play 38 minutes for Thibodeau. You going back to
shocker,
Kemba?
he runs his starters. I mean, I know he doesn't have a lot of options, but it's so on brand for Thibodeau to
It is.
literally not play Walker for almost 3-4 weeks, and then
Yep.
just hey, you're starting. Well, you're playing 38 minutes. Enjoy.
That's what it is. So are we touching this game at all?
If Rose is out, I'll go right back to Kemba because he's still only 5,200, and they
Right.
just don't have any other guards. Like
That's
Grimes is out, McBride's out.
yeah.
You just don't
IQ's out
have
too.
right. You just don't have a lot of options here. So if Rose still can't go, yeah, Kemba at 52 is going to be super appealing for 35 plus minutes.
Right. That's where it starts and ends for me.
Yeah, I'm not
If
really
and it's
looking
that it
for
yeah, you just laid it out too. If D Rose is out, I'll play Kemba. If D Rose is in, I'm not, because knowing Thibodeau, that means that Kemba's gonna go from 38 minutes to not playing another 4 to 6 weeks. So
right.
that's
He doesn't care that Rose
that's
sat out last game with an ankle injury. He'll run him 40 minutes.
yeah,
He does
exactly.
not
So
care.
that's about it for that game for me. This one has some sneaky appeal. Top guys at the top of the pricing grid being, highly rostered. What are you touching this game at all? The Portland New Orleans game? This is one that has really great shootout potential in my model.
Yeah, I mean, we should be interested in this game. These are two teams that are in the bottom 5 of defensive rating. Last I looked, I think it had the highest total, or it was up there. I know we only have 5 games, but the
Yeah,
total
I'm pretty sure the
still
Lakers
matter.
passed them, but it's really high. Yeah, I
Right.
think the Lakers Suns passed it, but it's still second on the slate, I think.
And it kind of goes back to what you were talking about with Indy. Like, okay, the Pelicans are healthy. That doesn't mean that Joe Vol and Brandon Ingram are not solid plays against one of the worst defenses in basketball, because they absolutely are. And if people aren't going to spend up because they're turning towards Cat, they're turning towards LeBron, you're just getting these guys that much lower rostership than GPP. That's super appealing.
Right. Yeah, for me, it's I kind of like a double center action lineup tonight with a certain Phoenix Sun center.
Yeah,
And Joval.
there we go.
I kind of that's where I kind of lean right now, but
It should be noted that Nurkic is questionable with a
yeah.
rib. So, I mean, Portland could be shorthanded here. Lillard's supposed to play. McCollum's still out. Little's questionable. Nurkic's questionable. I mean, again, like with Tip being a little bit later, that might push some guys off of that. But, I'm not really looking to play Nurk, so it's not that big a deal. But if he's out, man, like Larry Nance Jr. would look a little bit better, against the Pelicans. I know Joe Ball's on the other side, but even still, if Nurk's out, that's a big difference.
Yeah, and this is a huge late swap night for me too, because like that's what I ended up doing the other night, getting LeBron at 15% rostership, and you just
Yeah.
went absolutely nuts. Like
Yeah.
that, I want to see how many people roster Cat, because if they're all rostering Cat, then that means that they're likely not going to LeBron. And then at that point, I'm just gonna be patient and go LeBron and Aiden in that last game. But Yeah, if the only thing that sucks is that Joval plays before Towns, so that's the only thing. But to be determined for me on which one I land. But I will certainly have at least one Pelican in my lineup. Portland's defense is atrocious, and it always has been throughout at least the last 5 years. And it's not changing anytime soon. So I'm going to keep on picking on that. And New Orleans does not have the firepower to blow anybody out. They don't have the firepower to blow out a D3 college team. So,
So what you're saying is you're locking in Herbert Jones. You said you'll have one Pelican.
oh, Herbert Jones, man. He's on that. He's very close to making it on that PJ Tucker style list, but not that bad just yet because he's still a kid. I'll give him a bit of a longer leash, But if he keeps looking back and barking at me, then yeah, I'm gonna put him on that list real quick. I've never played Herbert Jones on a single slate. I've yet to roster Herbert Jones, and this guy is just everybody keeps rostering him, and he's just not productive. Like I don't get it, but
I mean, especially with Josh Hart back too, like that tends
that's the
to
thing, right? And
hurt
that
a
was the other
little
guy that
bit.
I want to mention. That was the other guy that I do want to mention. Josh Hart grades out really well for me tonight. The rebounding's been absolutely stellar, and against a Portland team that gives up a ton of action on their wings because Norman Powell just doesn't know what defense is. Know that from his days in Toronto. Josh Hart should be good to go here for a little 15-point double-double. I'm calling for Josh Hart. I think he actually rips double-digit rebounds in this one with how often Portland shoots the ball. So I could definitely see a little 15-point double-double action for Josh Hart at 5,700. That could be a guy that I slide in nicely if I don't play Ingram or Joval, hoping that everybody rosters Cat and then I go to LeBron. Like that's the way that I would be able to get to LeBron, is that my Pelican is Josh Hart. So
Right.
those are pretty much the only three guys there. Dame seems on track to play. If anything were to change that, which would not be surprising in the least, given the state of the NBA right now.
Given the NBA right now, yeah.
Yeah, given the state of the league right now, like it would not be surprising in the least. There, you can't say, "Oh, this guy's probable," and then he got ruled out. What kind of is that? Like no,
You
that's
should just
exactly what the league
expect
is.
things to happen at this point.
Yeah, you should just be expecting that kind of stuff right now, right?
Looking
So,
at you, Milwaukee Bucks and Drew Holiday from the weekend.
yeah, exactly. I will be taking. I don't want to say a huge risk because it's just a walking smash spot for him there. But Anthony Simons has looked atrocious lately. But I'm gonna
He's been
be
shooting
getting,
so bad, dude. So bad
but
lately.
I'm gonna be getting everything that I can there with Anthony
Yeah.
Simons. Should Dame get ruled out? But
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
a to be determined.
listen, if Dame is ruled out with CJ already out, like you can't pass Anthony Simons at 45. I don't care how he's been shooting, and it's been miserable. Like I've caught a couple Blazers game lately.
Oh, it's been
I
bad.
mean,
It's been
like
bad.
it's not like he's just shooting badly and he's like just missing. Like he's like along Cam
No,
Holly
it's
level
really
bad.
bad.
It's bad
Yeah,
right now.
it's really
But
bad.
at
It's been really bad.
4,500 without both McCollum and Lillard,
Yeah, you got to do it.
he'd be near a lock.
Yeah, you got to do it. So, Minnesota, Dallas. We'll talk about the top of the pricing grid and then the complete bottom.
Because this game's
Talk
going to
about
be the most popular of the night.
yeah. Towns KP. We'll go one of each. Are you playing Towns or KP tonight?
Towns I'm still interested in because I feel like he owes me from this last Mavericks game when I
That
loved
was the
him.
slate that I
And
played LeBron. That was the slate that I played LeBron
yep,
over
it
Cat.
sure was, and I really regretted not doing that afterwards. But at the same time, like he's checking in top 5 rostership, so
Yeah, it's
that
high.
I
It's
may
really
get my
high.
exposure in cash in the tournament that I play with my cash lineup, and just
Yeah.
kind of call it a day there. But on the like if KP plays, which seems dicey, like because he left the last game with a foot injury. I know
Yeah.
Dallas is very shorthanded right now. I shouldn't even say pretty short. They're real shorthanded.
Yeah.
I would play KP in cash if I had to, but I'm not playing him in GPP at $9,000 because I just don't think there's a ceiling there. It's the same as Kyle Lowry. Would he be solid and give me 5x? Yeah, probably. He'll be like 40, 45 DK. Is he getting to 55, near 60 that you want at 9K? I don't think so. I'd rather play Brandon Ingram.
Word. I like that. I'll make this one
And
simple. I'm not playing either one of those guys. So I'll leave it at
Brunson
that.
Brunson's going to be hard to
Yeah,
get away from in
that was
almost
the
any
next tier
format
for me.
tonight.
So D'Lo, Brunson, DFS, and Beasley, 2 of each.
Yeah. It's just hard to get away from this. The Wolves are down so many people. Dallas is down so many. Like when we say oh, you should be playing these guys in GPP because nobody's playing them. That's fine, but you're playing them with the chalk. This is how you're getting different.
Yeah.
You take four guys from this game, and instead of eating, other players that are popular from other games, that's when you take the opportunity to take your shot at Sabonis, take your shot at Ayton and LeBron. You do stuff like that to complement eating some of this chalk because you kind of have to. Like, it's just minutes on the court at this point that you can't avoid.
Absolutely.
Do you think we get a Boban sighting?
So that's what I was about to mention. So I'll just get this out of the way. This is gonna be like a 15-second thing, guys. Noel needs to be in your lineup, and I'm also playing Naz Reid because of the fact that I'm not playing Towns. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not playing Towns. I need the leverage. Naz Reid is the leverage. I'm playing Naz and paying up elsewhere. And Noel's a top value in my model. You need to play him. That's just what it is.
So before we move off of that, real quick, because I know we've had this question a couple times in Discord. How many Wolves is too many for GPP tonight?
If you're playing Towns, 3. If you're not playing Towns, 4.
So you would play up to 3 without Towns.
Yeah, up to 3 max. Yeah. I'm only going 2. I'm only going Noel and Naz. I'm very transparent. You guys know that.
I've seen some 4 Wolves lineups, and it
way too much.
It felt like a lot to me. Felt like a lot.
Is that with Towns?
Only 5 games. I don't think so. I don't believe so. I'd have to.
No, it's way too much. No, it's way too much. But the 3 that I would play would be even D'Lo. I don't want to play D'Lo with Noel. It would be Noel because Noel's a lot for me. So you got to play Noel, and then you got to play if you're not playing Towns because you're playing 3. If you're playing 3 T-Wolves, you're not playing Towns. So you got to play Naz, and then that third one would likely be Jaden McDaniels by default.
And Beasley's still in the running there.
Yeah, I just don't want to play a guard with Noel. Like I want Noel to go nuts.
Yeah, I get it. Like he just kind of like Beasley almost is Duncan Robinson. Like if his shot doesn't fall, what else are you getting from him? You're not.
Like he's gonna grab 2 rebounds and 2 assists. He's gonna grab 2 rebounds, 2 assists. And if you're playing 48, like he's in the exact same category as Robinson and Strauss. Same price too.
So, just know what you get if you go that route.
Absolutely.
And fingers crossed those first couple shots go down.
Yeah. With the Dallas front court situation, Dwight Powell's absolute cheeks. There's no way he runs a full 38. He's so bad.
No, he can't.
And then if KP is banged up, I don't know if we get a Boban sighting. I'm gonna let the model confirm that one. So TBD.
They do have Moses Brown.
I was just about to say I will throw out one name, and that's Moses Brown. I like.
Where was he at last? He was with Thunder last year, right?
He was with OKC, ripping 20-point double.
I was gonna say I remember playing him a lot towards the end of the year, or at some juncture last year.
He was very, very good, and he is very good. But
that'll be a model TBT. But
yeah, just 2 guys to keep your eye on. Obviously Boban because it's Boban, and Moses Brown. I have a feeling Moses Brown is going to make an appearance in the model. TBD. We'll see on that one. I just wanted to mention on the stream site, you guys don't forget to check the model because if you do, I'm going to be very disappointed. Last game of the day. Suns traveling to play the LA Stinkers with no Anthony Davis. So now they might have a chance to win a game. You playing anyone from this one?
Yeah, it's going to be DeAndre Ayton for me. You've been trying to write the article a little bit later during the day with everything going on. And I think I messaged you before you wrote.
It's very possible. I think so.
The pick and roll data for Ayton tonight is just absurd. The Lakers the Lakers allow the second most points to the roll man in the pick and roll, and that was with Anthony Davis, patrolling the paint. Now they have Dwight Howard and DeAndre Jordan. Get out of here! Like, there's nobody that's going to guard Ayton. He's
second in paint. He's second in paint touches and 4th in scoring too. Yeah,
I understand Devin Booker's back, and that it does change the complexion of the offense. Don't get me wrong. Ayton has been priced up because he was smashing without him. I'm fine paying $8,200 for him tonight. More than fine.
Yeah,
like
I think worst case scenario for me playing DeAndre Ayton, he gets 5x in 25 minutes.
Right.
Like if he doesn't get past 25 minutes, I still think he hits 40 DK in 25 minutes.
And that's kind of my only fear. And we preach all the time that we shouldn't look at the spreads. You don't really worry about blowouts till it gets to 14, 15 points. I do worry the Lakers get blown out. This team's running Isaiah Thomas for 20, 25 minutes.
They're so bad.
It's a legitimate concern. I don't care what the spread says, but I really think if that happens, I think you're right. I think that's the only way Ayton gets just 4.5 or 5x is if they just run them right off the floor.
Great pivot to Joel too, especially if you see how many people roster Joel and Cat. There's only so many center spots that they could end up rostering. So that's the one guy that I want to talk about in this game. I'm going to make at least 1 out of 2 lineups where I'm 100% going in on LeBron with Ayton.
Yeah.
And the second one, I'm going to see the second one, if I go Hart as my Pelican, then I'm going to have enough wiggle room to get LeBron in there, depending on how many people roster Cat and Joel. So we'll see there. But I don't think I'm playing anyone else from this game. Are you? Are you touching any of these Lakers? I'm not with THT back. That for me kind of throws a wrench in the plans a little bit.
Are you playing THT himself at all?
No, they're all equally as cheeks. So I'm not really down.
Yeah, I mean,
I might just play LeBron and that's it, and hope he just goes God mode.
You had the Andre Jordan chalk last time the Lakers played. Just remember Dwight Howard's back, so that should be much less of an option for you. We don't play Westbrook in this house. I mean, Melo, I don't know. Melo can always get hot, but that's not really a priority at 46. We have other better values. I think it's mostly just LeBron and Ayton because I think Paul is a little too expensive.
Yeah. That's about it. All right, we'll burn through these questions. What's up, bro? Man. Fournier kind of night. No. Gross.
I knew that was coming because he scored 35 points last game. I knew
it. Josh Hart, yes. Devontae Graham, no. VOI. FYI.
What?
I don't know what this means. I haven't texted in a long time. I usually FaceTime. So if you can let me know what that means, that sounds great. Brunson, Ingram, Struss, Hart, Ayton, Noel, DFS, and Turner. Anything you don't like in this one?
No, I'm pretty set. I mean, if you're fading LeBron, I don't know if I'm in love with Ingram and Ayton being the studs necessarily. But there's nothing. It's probably more of maybe a cash lineup, I think.
This seems like a very 5x type of lineup. That's the only thing.
I don't know if there's a very ceiling, but I think you'd probably cash with it.
You would have to come down off of Turner to go up on Struss, up on you gotta that if you want to keep this one, it's very safe. But that's the only thing that I'll say about that one.
And if you keep that one, swap Turner and Ayton, please, for the love of goodness.
Yeah. Devontae Graham, Brunson, DFS, Sabonis, Ayton, Noel, Reed, Turner.
I don't want to play Sabonis and Turner together.
No, you can't play both together.
I don't think you're getting,
especially if you're paying 10.6 for Sabonis. You need Turner to foul out in 30 seconds.
Right. You don't want Turner doing much.
Yeah, and then swap out Devontae Graham. I don't like Devontae Graham tonight. THT might take 40 shots, and he might make 4 of them, but it's very probable that he takes a lot of shots tonight.
I don't know if THT takes a ton of shots. I mean, Westbrook's still there. I think it's going to be 4. Westbrook, he can't hit them.
Yeah, they still have so many Brick City players, right? So either way, that's what it is. But it's going to be I think I have THT for 12 to 14 shots tonight or something.
Yeah.
Dame, Brunson, McDaniels, Nas. Oh, Omer sighting. I like Omer. Noel, LBJ, Ayton. I love this lineup. That is very nice.
I dig this.
Make sure you keep that. That is a lot.
People won't play Lillard.
That is where you got Dame, Brunson, LeBron, and Ayton in the same lineup.
That's nice. I do like that one a lot.
I like that a lot. Favorite small forward on the slate? Do you have a favorite one? Positions absolute cheeks.
Yeah, it's not great. I mean, if on the high end it's almost Ingram by default. Well, I guess it's LeBron by default, depending on where you play him. So it's LeBron, Ingram on the higher end. And then Finney Smith is fine at 5. I mean, 5K for Finney Smith sounds awful, but they just have no bodies left. And then, if you're going to go down and punt, it's McDaniels. So it
Those
just
exact
depends on where we
four
go.
for me. Those are the only four small forwards that I'm playing: LeBron, Ingram, Hart, and Finney Smith.
I skipped Hart.
I'll
So
throw in
it's a good
Hart.
call.
Yeah, I'll throw in Hart onto your list there as well.
My
I likely
man,
I don't
Tim
have room
Hardaway
for
Jr.
stress.
ruled out. Yeah,
Yeah,
sucks.
thank God. I hate rostering.
Hey, calm
But
down. Brian could be watching. He's gonna come at
I'll
you.
add Robinson and Strauss for very large GBPs, but I'm likely going Josh Hart over them. So
Yeah, I
just
don't think I'll end up with those guys.
I'm likely going Josh Hart because I think I'm gonna get LeBron in my lineup. So to be determined. We'll see. But yeah, at the top end it's LeBron and Ingram, and then McDaniel's punt with Hart and Finney Smith in the mid range. That's it. That's it. Nice, quick, easy, straightforward. You guys just saw us go game by game. Pretty much got essentially our entire player pool there. Mix and match those combos and make sure your lineup makes sense. When I say that, like, can't be playing Sabonis, Turner, and Brogdon together and expect Indiana to score 160 points. Can't be playing Joval with Ingram and Hart and hope that they all get there, right? So very key on this 5-game slate that your lineup makes sense. You're not playing Towns. Heavily look at Nas. If you are playing Towns, that's a value that you are okay to fade and go Omer, like someone like that, right? So just make sure that your lineup tells a story, making sure that, if X happens, then Y will likely happen in my lineup. You got to make sure that those questions make sense. So keep following that strategy, follow up with the news, be available to late swap as much as possible, and we will see you guys in Discord. Thank you very much for tuning in. And as always, thank you, Adam, for joining on this lovely Taco Tuesday. Happy Taco Tuesday.
And for the love of goodness, backload your lineups.
Please backload your lineups. Absolutely.
It's vital every night. It's so important right now. It is so important.
Happy Taco Tuesday to those that celebrate, and to those that don't, you are welcome to come and celebrate at any time.
Join us anytime.
Because I celebrate that every single Tuesday. Take care, guys.